Do you know the difference between being broke, being rich, or being wealthy? Do you understand why you're stuck in your 9 to 5 and how close you are to going broke or financial freedom? These are all the questions I'll be looking at today. My name's Gareth. Welcome to another episode of One Man's Money Mission. Let's start by introducing you to a range of different people across different financial situations. All the characters in this episode are totally fictional. Any names, jobs, and salaries have all just been made up for the example of the show. This is James. So looking at James's picture there, what could we assume about who James is from a financial perspective? Well, his house is quite small. He's got an old looking car. He looks very casual. Personally, I think we could easily assume that James is a normal working man working a normal job in society. So let's take a look at James's financial profile. As expected, James works a normal 9 to 5 job as a coffee engineer. He has an income of 25k a year, which equates to 2k a month. But as we can see from there, his monthly spend is also 2k, meaning at the end of the month, James is always left with a net of £0 a month. Let's meet another character. So this person looks quite different. He seems to have a large house, multiple expensive cars, he's dressed very smartly, and he looks to have what seems to be his family stood around him. I think we can safely say that this person is doing pretty well in life. So let's take a look. As suspected, Oliver over here has quite a high paid job. He has a career as a doctor. He earns around 200k a year, which gives him a monthly spending power of around 16k. In reality, I'd say it'd be less than this because tax hasn't been deducted at this point. It's just simple maths. But for now, let's just keep the numbers simple and keep it as it is. I think what's important to note here is that Oliver also seems to spend all of his money every single month. So spending 16 grand a month might seem quite difficult to someone with a lot less money. However, it is pretty easily done. When people earn more, they tend to spend more. So Oliver might earn 8 times more than James. But Oliver's house, look at that thing. It likely costs 8 times more. He's got multiple cars. His cars might have cost 8 times more to purchase. He also has a family to feed. And whereas James might have a burger from McDonald's for his dinner, Oliver might eat in lavish restaurants that cost £200 a head. The point is, the habits of Oliver and James seem to be exactly the same, which ultimately leads to the same outcome. No money left at the end of the month, no investments, no savings. Let's have a look at someone else. So what might we say about this person? I'd say the house seems like a normal sized house. Car looks like a standard saloon sized car. The car's probably not that expensive and the person is dressed pretty casually. I'd say a similar picture to James. So first impressions suggest to me that this person is probably in a very similar situation to James. Let's find out. So this is Mike. He has an income of 25k, the same as James, which gives him the same 2k monthly income as James, but he spends less and appears to save half of his income each month. This scenario seems really interesting to me though, because look what Mike does for a living. He's unemployed. But how can this be? How can he not have a job and still be earning as much as James and have less outgoings? Well, I'll tell you. It's because Mike has already done the work. He's followed the financial blueprint, he's saved his cash over the years, and he's invested in property. It didn't have to be property, it didn't have to be real estate. It could have been any type of asset that he's invested in. The important thing here is that he's invested and now he's reaping the benefits of those investments. So Mike owns 4 buy-to-let properties. Each one of them returns £500 a month back to him as income. And the best part is, he doesn't have to go to work anymore. He's escaped the 9 to 5 rat race and now he's got as much time as he wants to do what he wants. Instead of working, he could choose to be creative, spend more time with friends and family. He might even choose to work and get more money to continue to invest in his assets and give himself even more freedoms and choices in life, growing his empire. The key words are choice and freedom. Mike has options. So the difference is, James and Oliver, they're stuck in the rat race. Even if they hate their jobs, they can't leave. Because guess what? The income stops. And if the income stops, the bills are still there, and that's a problem. So now let's apply our status labels. James earns low income, is limited on choices, is at risk of losing everything if something bad happens with his health or he loses his job and he has no savings or investments. James is broke. Oliver has high income, but he has the same spending habits as James. He can have nicer things. He's cash rich, but the risk is still the same as James and potentially even higher. If Oliver loses his career, there's much more at stake. He could still easily lose everything. Then there's Mike. Mike is what we would consider to be wealthy. I mean, the guy's laughing. He's free from the rat race. He has more time for himself, more time to grow his empire, less stress, less risk. At this point, I just want to quickly talk about the social dynamic of this group of people and how they might perceive each other. Bear in mind, these people do not know anything about each other. The really interesting thing to me is, more often than not, James thinks he wants to be Oliver, and James thinks Mike is the same as him. Oliver thinks he's ahead of the game and winning at life. He thinks James and Mike are exactly the same. But the really interesting perception is that of Mike's, because he is financially educated. So he knows not to judge Oliver or James. He knows that there's no way of telling whether these people are rich, broke, or wealthy. Mike doesn't judge people on the materialistic things or the job that they do, and neither should you. So let's take a look at how this pans out over time. Here's our timeline. The left is now, and the right side is the future of being financially free. Where do you think James, Oliver, and Mike might sit on the timeline? For me, James and Oliver sit right at the start of the timeline. Neither of them have any savings, neither of them have any investments. The risk profile is high for both of them, and in my opinion, although Oliver can afford more expensive things, he's as good as broke. They're the same habits. No matter how you look at it, having no savings or investments leaves you open to the risk of going broke. So what about Mike? Well, Mike's financially free. He's reached ultimate financial freedom. What I mean by that is, he never has to work a single day in his life if he doesn't want to. And the more income he reinvests into his assets, the more it's going to bolster that financially free life and reduce that risk even more. So one question I have to ask myself is, where do I see myself in all this? Well, there's me. Thanks AI for that picture. I'm also at the start of the journey. I mean, you could argue that I'm already slightly ahead of James and Oliver because although I haven't saved or invested anything yet, I am already on the mission. I'm creating the blueprint and I'm educating myself about finance. And that is what is important right now. So what did you think? Hopefully that helps you to understand a little bit more about how I think about what is being broke, what is being rich, and what is being wealthy.